Hi, I'm Stef, Dressage rider and trainer, and today, in association with Carr Martin, I'm going to talk to you about the horse's way of going. And what I'm looking for is the horse stretches really nicely in a sort of rainbow shape with the neck out and seeking the contact down and forwards, and that his pace is regular, so he has to have a clear 4-beat walk, which you can see here, and that he's looking like he's actually going somewhere. I'm looking at his muscles and thinking they look all nice and soft. He looks really purposeful. And there you can see the rhythm almost going to a lateral where both legs move on the same side. It's harder with these horses that have a very big walk. Sometimes when you take them smaller, they tend to present with a lateral pace, where the legs on, say, the left move at the same time and on the right move at the same time. So I would say this horse's walk is fragile in the collection. All right, just back to extend the walk again. But you can see as soon as he goes back into a freer outline, the rhythm is established again. So it's just important to consider when you're training a horse that has a big walk, that you must dip in and out of the medium, out of the collected frame in the walk to try and keep the rhythm, and use things like leg yields to help him stay supple and soft. Claude is warming Pascal up, and at the beginning it's quite important to see if the horse can let go of the top line and stretch the muscles. And here we can see that although he's giving a little stretch, he's still a little bit behind the vertical with his head, so he's not really warmed up and through to the contact enough. Right, so in the trot and the stretch, we're looking at the horse really takes the rein forwards and makes the neck a little bit longer, but without losing balance. So ideally the rider still wants to be in the middle, and the horse wants to stretch as equally as possible in front and behind, so like a rainbow shape. So I like the rhythm, I like the energy. I'd like to see a little bit more stretch, particularly if he could take his nose a little bit out and forward. So seek the contact out a little bit away from his chest. And on the long side, I'm looking to check that the horse is straight and that the quarters don't slightly came in there. But I like his attitude. I like the fact looks like he's willing to work. Okay, so now we're going to look at the canter. And always I'm thinking, when I'm looking at horses, is at that moment in time, what could they do? And here I think, okay, he looks like he needs a little bit more impulsion. His head's a little bit bobby, and he just looks a little bit steady, and probably not forwards enough. Now, by forwards, we don't mean speed, we mean engagement. So you want the hind end to be a little bit quicker, so he connects a bit more, and by taking the hind legs more under his tummy, then his back will be a bit more stretched and he'll be more connected. And then when I'm looking at the canter, I want to make sure that he looks connected, that what could I do with him? Could I, suddenly go into a medium canter? Or would I have enough balance to be able to turn on to half a 10-metre circle? What can I do with the horse? So now we're going to look at some transitions in and out of the trot and the canter. So what we're trying to look here is the horse obedient? Does he do it when she wants him to? A little bit inattentive. So basically check and see if they're obedient, how easily they do it, and what does it bring you? If doing the transitions they back off, that means you've lost impulsion. It's very easy to feel what they do, just have to have a plan of how to change that. So he anticipated a bit, so she corrected him, didn't let him trot. A little bit stiff in the neck. Trot's nice rhythm, but not probably enough engagement. And the point of doing transitions is that they start to encourage the hind legs to be more active, to step more under the horse. Okay, so now we're going to look at some transitions between walk and trot. It's really important. This is a very basic exercise. Looking to make sure that the horse steps under in the transition and that he's crisp in the move off. Okay, so it's a little bit unbalanced there. We can tell that he looks a little bit sideways and his head came a little bit up. So she just asked him to do a little bit more sharp, and that was much better going back into trot. Okay, so I thought that was better because his hind leg stepped under him more than it did the time before, and the move off was quite nice. This is a movement that's in quite a lot of the lower level tests, and it's quite easy to lose a mark if they become hollow or they drop behind your leg or they don't do it immediately when you want. What you have to think here is that the walk has to stay small and neat. If you went into a big walk, then they're going to be lurching back into trot. You have lost engagement, you've lost the hindquarters in the transition if you let everything get a bit too long and slow. So there's a medium trot, nice and energetic, but then lost the rhythm and then broke into canter. So if you were looking at in a test, that unfortunately they have to give you a 4 because it's a disruption. Just means that the horse made a mistake. So she's having another go now. Much better. Really nice and powerful, really good outline. The thing is, when they know their job, like he does, he tries to take over a bit, which is probably why the first time he might have pushed a bit too much and lost balance. Okay, so here we can see at the end of the session, and this is what we'd be looking for, is that if we've worked the horse quite well, he'll want to stretch. So he's still got the same thing where he curls his head in a little bit, and ideally we want him to take the nose out a little bit more, but he's willing to stay in a nice, soft, swinging outline. No loss of balance, nice even steps, a little bit better there. And I think you've got to be brave when you know that the horse isn't going to do anything naughty. Really be brave about giving them the rein. If you give the rein, the horse should always become lighter or better because it has to go in its own self-carriage. If when you let go of the rein and the horse doesn't feel like it's in its own self-carriage, it means that you were doing too much as a rider.